In this video, we're going to talk about how to find grants online free for small businesses step by step. I'm going to share with you an easy template to use for grants. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Rinde from AskRinde, and welcome to the #1 community for real estate, income, and credit. So if you'd like to know what the 3 steps are to be able to find grants online free for small businesses, make sure you watch the video to the end and leave a comment below if you need help with anything. So there are millions of dollars in grants and unclaimed money in the US, and there are grants for everything. Everything from real estate to medical to causes and even gaming. And finding grants can be a tedious process and a full-time job. And trust me, I know. I come from a family of grant writers and grant experts that have sourced up to $1 million in private grant funds. So there's a process and steps to get grants. So number 1, the first step to get grants for your small business is you need a business. You need either a sole proprietorship, an LLC, a C Corp, or an S Corp. You need to be able to have some sort of business entity that you file with the state. So actually going through that process, if you're actually going through a sole proprietorship, you're going to be able to use your social security number because you're looked at as an individual owner. If you're an LLC, whether a single member LLC or dual or multiple member LLC or C Corp and S Corp, you're going to need an EIN. You can simply get that by going to irs.gov or doing your search online to get free EIN. And it's simple. You can actually then attach that to your business. Once you've gone through that process, you're going to get what is called a certificate of formation, your filing paperwork or your business documents that your state gives you for your business. You're going to then take that paperwork, go to your local business and set up a business account. In order to set up the business account, oftentimes they're going to need your ID, they're going to need your formation documents for your business, and they may need a small deposit depending on your bank to be able to start that business checking account. That's something you're going to need to be able to set up, to be able to start your journey, and that's step 1. So before I get started with step 2, it's important to understand the grants flow or the currency of grants, the flow of how grants are dispersed in the US. So grants flow through and into 2 sectors, and those sectors are government and private. So grants flowing through the government would be things such as the CARES Act or the SBA, the Small Business Administration PPP loan or EIDL, or other forgivable economic recovery grants that they've given out. Also President Biden's $25,000 first-time homebuyer grant, or the $15,000 homebuyer tax credit. The rental assistance grants that we've seen that's been dispersed through the different acts to be able to help renters going through the pandemic and also landlords going through the pandemic. Government contract, furniture contract, construction contracts, building contracts, road contracts, all of those are grants that flow through the government. And there are steps that you would need to take to be able to get government grants. And you can actually go to sites such as grants.gov to see what's posted and what you may qualify for, what may be available to be able to get those grants. On the other hand is the private sector, and that's a completely different world because the flow of grants in the private sector, while it has some similarities to the government side, is somewhat different. Grants in the private sector for small businesses and personal financial assistance oftentimes start out with a different flow. They start out with wealthy individuals and wealthy families. Those wealthy individuals or families then hire a financial planner or a money manager. And after coming up with a business strategy for their family and their finances, they oftentimes form what is called FFs or family foundations. Those family foundations then give disbursements of grants to nonprofits. Those nonprofits can be anything from local organizations that are helping the community, Catholic charities, local economic development corporations, churches, Chamber of Commerce's, the list goes on and on. The best place to be able to find a collection of all your nonprofits would be your Center for Nonprofits. Most states have them. I know here in New Jersey we have a New Jersey Center for Nonprofits, and you can actually just do a Google search and see if your state has one. That would be the best place to be able to find the majority of sources of nonprofits in one area, so you can actually start to reach out to those nonprofits. In the private sector, there are millions of dollars given out in microgrants on an annual basis. Everything from $1,000 grants to $25,000 grants, $50,000 grants, $100,000 grants, $300,000 grants, and beyond. Anything that a business may need that the grant is available for and they qualify for, those grants are there. Step 2. So like I shared earlier in the video, there's an easy way to start finding grants and there's a hard way. We like to actually show you the smart way. So the smart way to be able to start your search and find free online grants for your small business would be to become a grant researcher. So this is actually the smart way that we've utilized to be able to find grants, and that is we earn as we actually research. So most times, as I've shared earlier in the video, a grant finding process can be a very tedious process. You actually have to dedicate a lot of time to find the monies. These monies are available. There's millions of dollars available, but finding them is not easy. If it were easy, everyone will be doing it. So actually the way that we teach and share with you how to actually source and find these grants for your small business or your personal financial needs would be to actually become a grant researcher. And that means you're going to be earning as you go. And one of the best ways to do this is to go to a website called Upwork.com. As I've shared previously, Upwork is actually a website that actually allows you to be able to do freelance work. And there are many people who are hiring people to be able to find grants. And they need people to be able to help them to be able to source where these grants are, and more importantly, how to qualify and get and accumulate these grants. As I've shared in one of my other videos, there's no limit to how many grants you can get. So it's fairly simple. You just go to Upwork.com, go to the search bar and type in grant researcher. And as you can see here, there are people throughout the entire world that are actually getting paid at different hourly rates to be able to do exactly what we're looking to do, and that is find grants for our business. So the first one here you can see is a grant proposer and researcher, $38 an hour, $2,000 earned, and basically it's grant writing, researching, and that's what we're doing. We're doing grant researching for our business. On and on, there are different price points as far as hourly charges based on their criteria or their expertise or their background. And actually you can go through Upwork.com. It's actually free to sign up. You can actually look through some of the other proposals. I would actually encourage you to actually see some other profiles and see where you fit in. If you're a beginner, which is what I'm recommending you do, just basically start out by actually maybe lowering your price to be able to match where you are. The fact that you are really looking to just put in the work to be able to research and find these things, which is what a lot of people are paying for. People are paying on here for not just the expertise, they're also paying for the time. They don't have the time to be able to find the grants. So being that you're looking for yourself, you can actually get paid to look for them, find the sources, and also apply with your own businesses as well. This is a very key tactic that we use, and we teach in depth on this in our grants masterclass, which I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit more on later on. But grant writers, data scientists, grant proposals structuring, grant researching for everything from medical, real estate, gaming, you name it. Any type of sector is actually applicable. So what better way it is for you to actually position yourself to be able to find grants today. So as I've shared, you don't have to actually place a high mark on your hourly rate. You can actually just put a beginner rate on there, and I'll be making recommendations in our masterclass as to what you should actually do regarding your hourly rate on Upwork and other resources and other platforms, which I'll share with you, for finding grant research jobs. And so this is an excellent way to be able to earn as you actually research for your grants, to know where to find the grants, how to find the grants, what platforms do you use, what websites do you go to. In the private sector, most people know about Candid, which is one of the main fundraising databases, but there are other databases that exist. Number 3, and the third step to be able to use to find grants for your small business would be to use our grant matrix. So we have the AskRinde grant matrix, and basically what it is a walkthrough, is a tool and a guide of showing you not only exactly how to find grants, but also how to organize them. As I've shared, you want to be abundance minded. You don't want to just think about one grant. There are many grants available, and this tool and this matrix allows you and gives you the ability to be able to not only organize, but place and hone in everything, and it basically guides you in the process of your grant research and also your grant findings. It's a very powerful tool. We've actually included it free in the resource area. You can actually just click and download it. Just search AskRinde Grant Matrix and it's right in there. So I'll be going more in depth on how to use our grant matrix, what to look for, how to find grants, how to set yourself up as a grant researcher, and how our family was able to source up to $1 million in private grant funds. I'll be teaching this and more inside of our Grants Masterclass. So you can actually sign up simply today by going up to our website, AskRinde.com, clicking on grants, and getting started today. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.